Then we drove back to Maine and spent a few days there, but we did it overnight, and it was a terrifying drive.
Oh yeah,
that was a terrifying
a lot of snow, and it was a blizzard all the way back.
Yeah, right? Well, up until the border, basically all of Canada was a wall of snow and flurry.
Looked like you were going into like hyperdrive or whatever. Yeah,
hyperdrive.
Yeah,
yes.
Going through something with it was crazy.
Yeah, and then once we got to the border, that pretty much stopped. The snow doesn't have a passport.
On our way down, and then once we get to Maine, I've been hearing like in the background, there's this thing that's been growing. And it's all about the coronavirus.
Oh.
Has been slowly creeping up. We've been hearing things here and there.
Yes.
And once we get up to Maine, that's when we start hearing a little bit more about it.
Yeah. So we start to learn about a global pandemic. And the media is going crazy, and everyone is saying to either hunker down or to relax. It's not a big deal, and nobody really quite knows what to think. And so it's just on the periphery of our attention at this moment.
Yeah. Well, at the time, it seemed overblown, and I was, at the time, firmly in the camp of, oh, this is just another flu, or bird flu, or swine flu, or whatever the hell we're going to hear about. I remember thinking that at this point in time, so I just pushed it into the back of my mind, and didn't think about it anything further than that. That was me at that period of time.
Yeah, I had a similar experience, but that's also when we had a show. So,
and that's whenever, Otto's on the River.
Otto's on the River. So that was a nice little show that we set up as a fundraiser for the Augusta Colonial Theater.
And that was a very fun show to do.
That was a very fun show.
Very fun show. And we had a packed out place over there,
We sure did, man.
We had a pretty big audience in that restaurant.
Yeah. It was great. They did good by us, actually. I think they advertised it pretty well. My family definitely got the word out. That was a nice surprise to have them bring so many. But we probably had 45 people in there, I think, and it was a pretty tight space, so it looked pretty packed. And the show went well.
And that's whenever we, started really working on a 2-person disclaimer for our show.
Yes.
If you want to point, that's something that was pretty important.
So we're both big advocates of disclaimers, as you already know, given the virtual reality thing that we've taken on the tour. And that was the first time that we had a disclaimer that was 2-person. So I don't believe in ghosts. But I am afraid of them.
We all understand this sentiment.
Yes. Tonight, you guys will, in fact, experience psychic phenomena. But we won't.
You will also experience expert body language reading, but we won't.
He's given us the Simba look back there. Good. Hi, Larry. So, all right. So we will be using every tool at our disposal to convince you guys at any given time that you're either in a room with a couple of Sherlockian detective types or a couple of legitimate psychics.
But we're more like reformed cult leaders.
Yes. We're more like the reformed cult leaders. Yes. Our skill set is derived from a combined lifetime study of con artistry and deception. And that is what we'll be using tonight to produce the illusion of mind reading.
But be warned, if we do our job correctly, then in 5 minutes you'll forget we ever said this.
That's true. And we will be ultimately frustrated when one of you approaches us after the show and says, "So how long have you had your gift?" So, engage in the cat and mouse game if you want. In fact, we like that. But if it's more your style, enjoy a temporary belief in the supernatural. And please, either one you choose, enjoy the show.
All right.
Watch games. Which went pretty well, I think. It was quite nice. Don't know if it had any effect. There were still people coming up afterwards.
Well, it definitely didn't, from what I saw. Because
Well, you know, who knows? Who knows?
After-
Maybe some fence sitters, right?
Yeah, but that was
Please,
one
please,
show.
some fence sitters, please.
That was one show that we did where I definitely had one person come up to me and tell me, I know what the real trick is. You guys are really mind readers and you pretend to be fake.
I want to take that woman and literally walk her through the whole show.
Yeah, well,
It might be the
she'll
best
tell
thing
you-
for her in the
she-
long run.
Yeah, she'll tell you you're just making it all up, dude.
No. Well, that's the thing. She's too smart to be fooled.
That's what it is, actually.
She's
when you
too
get
smart
down
to be
it.
fooled, so she
Yeah.
wasn't fooled.
She doesn't
You know
want to
what I
be.
mean?
Well, she wants to be fooled, but she doesn't want to be.
Well, she wants to see a psychic.
She does, but she also wants to think that she knows what's going on.
Right, so she wasn't fooled. She just had the answer.
You know, I actually had one person way back before I moved to New York. I had one person when I was doing a mentalism effect for him, and then afterwards they said, "Yeah, I mean, you're a psychic. My grandma is too." I remember that because the stuff was so realistic that they actually didn't perceive it to be anything miraculous. The more realistic your pseudo explanation is, the less impressive the effect is.
Assuming
In a
the
lot of
person
ways.
totally buys into it.
Yeah, the more they buy into the pseudo explanation you're giving them, then they can't be impressed by it, right?
Yeah, I
because
guess.
it's like, oh yeah, my grandma's
also
a psychic.
There's
You know,
also
so
an
what?
entertaining element of surprise.
Yeah, that's
in there
true
too. If you can
That's
surprise somebody with something, even if they can retroactively attach a pseudo explanation to it,
true. Yeah.
they might give a bigger reaction at the time. But the amount of believability, yeah, definitely goes. I mean, if they believe in your powers, then naturally they're gonna be less inclined to be astonished, I guess.
Yeah. Well, if anything, it's a testament to how great the show was.
Yeah,
We
it was a
had-
very
we had
convincing
great-
show.
Yep, we had a great response to it.
Yeah.
A lot of people coming up being like, yep, they loved it, they had a great time, and it was a fun show to do.